Kombat 2 is 30 years old. That is insane, and I cannot believe it has been that long since the game has released. Of course, I'm speaking like I was alive when it came out. The old heads out there can tell me how it felt to go from games like Sonic and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine to a game where you can rip someone's head off, electrocute people to death with buckets of blood going everywhere. The first time I played Mortal Kombat 2 was actually a secret in Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, where you can play the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 2 within that game. I could never get past the third fight though, because naturally it's an arcade game. It was just fucked. I couldn't do anything at all. It was just impossible. Of course, as I got older, I learned what was going on behind the scenes, about how the AI reads your input and how it's designed to beat you. Playing the arcade versions of these games are just completely ridiculous. You have to play like a complete cheap ass to win. But I have something interesting here for the 30th anniversary, Mortal Kombat 2 on the PlayStation 1. I didn't even know this existed until a couple of days ago. Like, this is actually real. I've never even heard of it, I've never played it, so let us check it out. Some people would say, hey, you're being dumb as shit, you know, you're not playing the real version of the game, you're not playing the arcade or MAME version, whichever one. Yes, I know, that's objectively the best version of Mortal Kombat 2 that you can play. I finished the game a couple of times years and years back on the arcade version, and it's just completely fucked, and I don't want to deal with it. Like, I just cannot stand that bullshit. Like, you have to play so disgusting and such a cheap ass, just dumb, sickening way that makes the game so boring to play. It's just not fun. Yeah, it's cool for the novelty, but once that wears off, it just, all the fun goes right down the toilet, and there's no fun to be had, because you have to be cheap to win, and it's ridiculous, and it's not fun. But going on to the PlayStation 1 version of the game, this actually came out in '96, which is really strange, because Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was already out, and it released a few months before Mortal Kombat Trilogy, so why would you want to port this? There was already a port on the PlayStation 1 for Mortal Kombat 3, the original, but sure, whatever. Let us see if this port's actually good or not. When you load into this game, the audio sounds like complete shit. The sound quality is like Super Nintendo or Sega-esque. It sounds terrible for a PlayStation 1 game. The game's all foggy for some reason. That's not a filter or anything. It just looks like someone sneezed on the screen, so bear with me on that. I can't do anything. It's not my fault. But of course, all the classic characters are here. We all know them. We all love them. I'm gonna pick Johnny Cage because he was the first character I did a fatality with when I played the game originally. Some of the sounds are off. Like, they're not all taken from the arcade version, which is a shame because the announcer actually sounds really good. It's like arcade quality. The graphics here are alright, kind of. I mean, I think they could have been a little bit better, but they aren't bad to the point where you'd complain about it, like the Sega Genesis version of this game. That was a bad experience because the graphics were just so inferior to the Super Nintendo version. It's like, why would you even bother playing the Sega version? If you've ever played it, you know what I'm talking about. The blood and effects look great. I'm just tossing jacks around here like a ragdoll, pummeling them into the dirt. I pull off my fatality, and yeah, the fatalities are kind of glitchy in this game. Numerous times my fatalities would just do some like weird shit, or like the enemy's fatalities would lag. The blood would disappear. Like, it's just a mess. Jump kicking is a very powerful tool in this game. I use it a lot in the arcade version as well, at least to me personally. It is a Mortal Kombat game after all, so your inputs are going to be read at some point, but it is still kind of useful. Raiden, I don't know why they keep changing the spelling of his name, because I thought it was with an I, but alright, sure. But I guess they wanted to change the name, you know, experiment with some shit. I honestly couldn't tell you. But I get my glitchy fatality and the same thing happens. I just realized though, like, there's no fatality noise for some reason. It doesn't play like anything. It's just a continuation of the normal levels music, which, you know, I don't have a problem with the levels music. It just makes it a little bit awkward because you know something's missing and you're like, what the fuck? Like, where's the suspense when you like get that noise when the fatality comes out? It just sounds kind of weird and awkward when you just have normal levels music playing while you're just doing a fatality. Coming from Mortal Kombat Trilogy, I'm expecting the AI to be completely fucked, but so far in this version, it's been pretty easy and smooth sailing. I'm trying to remember all the moves because I only remember the shadow kick, back forward, low kick. I also found out his shadow uppercut though, which was back down, back high punch. I also got the fatality too. I completely forgot about the other one. I thought it was for someone else, but it didn't glitch this time, so it's pretty cool, and we got it in its full glory. Fatality. I was killing myself to switch my character out. I wanted to try someone new, and I just wanted to put it out there that this AI tried to do the Kung Lao hat throw fatality and just fucked it up. I don't know why I hold so much animosity towards the AI in these games, because it's not like it's a sentient being that can understand me. I just love to point out how fucked they are, how stupid they are, and I hate them so much, only if they just knew all the frustrations that they cause us when we play these games. I switched over to Scorpion to test out the spear move, because I was curious if the spear spamming would be a cheese tactic to blow through this game, and look at that, it is. He never really blocks it, which is a thing I notice about this game. Certain moves like Johnny Cage's shadow kick, they just don't block it like 80% of the time, so you can usually just spam moves like this to win. I always liked it about these home ports that there is actually different things in each version that are different. They all have different exploits, and it's like a mad scientist experiment to figure out which characters are broken and which characters just exploit the AI so you can just cheese it and win. I moved on to Baraka, I fucked him up, and I found out the flame fatality. It's the same as the first game, but you have to hit a high punch afterwards, but it's extremely awkward because there's no sound or anything, it's just silence. Fatality. When I got up to Johnny Cage, I started seeing it a little bit. Every time I jumped, he'd use the mortar, and I was like, I get it now. So it's brain dead at the beginning, and then when you go up, it becomes more fucked. I'm like, yeah, I get that. It just makes it harder in a game like this because it's so primitive and there's not much strategy to go around. So you have to figure out like the simple moves to exploit the AI to some degree when this starts to happen. So like, what are you gonna do? Outskill the AI in one of these games? Like, give me a break. Like, they know every move you're gonna do before you even do it. So I'm like, all right, I see what I have to do here. I have to spam spear to win, which becomes my problem with these older Mortal Kombat games. They're fun at first, and then they devolve into spamming the same move over and over again. If you watch my Mortal Kombat Trilogy video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no skill involved here whatsoever. I know the AI is going to read my inputs. Their moves take priority over mine. It's just going to be a miserable experience if I try to play normally, so I just spam the spear to win. Then I get the Scorpion. I cannot tell you how many times I lost to this guy. This is where I should mention that you get a max continues of 9. If he beat me 9 times, I'd have to restart all the way from the beginning, which I really don't want to do that. I almost did beat him with Scorpion once, but he did his laggy, buggy fatality to me, so I had to use someone new. I went with Baraka since his defensive pussy play got me pretty far in Trilogy. Will it work here? No, not at all. Every single thing I tried to do, this asshole was countering it. This guy's taking Baraka's blades to the wrist, rubbing it off like it's completely nothing, and curb stomping me into the dust, insta-sweeping me when I try to do my back blade attack. He lights me on fire, so I have to try again. I went with Jax because I was like, alright, in the arcade version, Jax is a broken character because of his air throw. That move can finish off everyone in the game except for the bosses very, very easily if you know how to do the exploit of making people jump to you. I tried to pull that off, but it wasn't working. I'm not really sure if I was trying to do it wrong or like how I was forcing him, it just wasn't right. I don't know what was going on there. He just didn't feel like jumping today, and I barely got in a hit, and he kicked my ass. Okay, fine. I will pick Sub-Zero then, and I found out a pattern. When I used him, I wanted to see if freeze spamming would work. That was the moment where I was like, alright, here's the exploit of what you need to do in this game. It's worse than Scorpion Spear, because if you can get them in an infinite loop of freeze attacks over and over and over again. I fucked it up and died, but I finally was like, alright, I know the game's trick in the back of my mind. I'm gonna try out a different character because I know what to do now. I went over to Liu Kang because I was like, I don't want to play like that. I want to try something else, try out some other characters, see what I can get going with them. You know what happened? That's right, I got destroyed by Scorpion and lost again. So I was like, alright, fuck it, I'm done. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna go right in. What's the point of trying anymore? We can't do anything no matter who I play, so I know the exploit, so let's just fucking do it. This guy gets absolutely clobbered on my first try. Like, I really wanted to rip his head off or do a fatality to him, because that's the best part about these games. When you're getting destroyed by the AI and you rip their head off or like pull their heart out or something, it is just so satisfying to just mutilate and kill the AI. Like, I love it. I think that's what everyone, like the sick part of our minds, love about Mortal Kombat. Molina is a complete joke. I wasn't even scratching the surface of losing, and I won on my first try with this broken shit. But now I'm on a mirror match. I have to fight myself. I really wonder what he's gonna do. Spam the freeze move? Wow, I wonder. Obviously it's sarcasm, because that's clearly what he's going to do if you know anything about Mortal Kombat AI. I was having some controller problems with my X button again. It was ruining my mojo and made me lose to this fuck. I was hoping to keep that streak going, but I'm losing all my lives. I really need to start being careful here. Thankfully, I show this bastard who the real Sub-Zero is, and I go on to the final regular character of the game, Liu Kang. He is right before that question mark logo, and if you don't know what's up with that, you have to beat this character, whoever's here, only using low kicks throughout the fight. And you'll actually be able to fight Jade. She's a reskin version of Katana with a green outfit. Obviously, she has golden fans, she moves faster, and she has more health. I was thinking about trying it, but if I did, it wouldn't make any sense, because he'd just fuck me up every single time I would try. He'd just probably jump and do a high fireball or something faster than the human being could even fucking respond. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. It would be fun, but sure. Going to Shang Tsung is where I started getting bored, because I'm like, this isn't even fun anymore. It's not. I don't want to play this way, but the game's forcing me to. Anyone who's never played this game before, go ahead and play Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade. Don't use any cheese tactics and cheap exploits. Just give it a try. Like, I dare you to. It should be a form of torture because you're not going to win. You just can't do the things the AI can do. Like, they cheat, and it's been proven numerous times. They do plentiful amounts of things, and there's so many videos showcasing it. It's just cheap-ass horseshit, and I hate it. When I beat Shang Tsung, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know the trick against this guy in the PlayStation 1 version. What am I supposed to do here? I'm trying to spam freeze over and over again, see if that works on it, which doesn't. I'm like, I have no idea what to do, but this big tub of fuck just puts me into the ground. But wow, what's this? Miraculously in the second round, I'm just not taking damage anymore. I suddenly am able to win without knowing the exploit for reasons I have no idea why they're happening. It's not like I'm cheating or anything. I got a double flawless victory on Kentaro and made the ultimate comeback with all the skill it takes to play this game, and I beat him fair and square. Shao Kahn is always the final boss in these games, but surely enough, the ice exploit works on him too, because why would it not? I whoop his ass to get our exhilarating cutscene. That is Mortal Kombat 2 30 years later. I knew what I was getting into before I started it, believe me. I've beat this game so many times, I know how fucked this game is. But this game is truly an all-time classic. It did so much for gaming, aiding the creation of the ESRB we know today, showcasing great graphics and mechanics for fighting games, unique and interesting characters. It is a legendary game and a huge part of gaming history that I can appreciate every single thing that this game has to offer. Yes, it does go without saying the AI ruins the experience of this game for sure, but playing this game with a friend though can be a lot of fun, which is how these older games were meant to be played in my opinion, because the single player is just absolutely fucking disgusting. It makes me sick how unfair and cheap these AI are in these older games. This is the true arcade experience with the older games. Pop in a few quarters, if you don't know the tricks, you lose until you run out of money walking away pissed off. But for some reason we all still love this game to death, probably because of what it did for the industry, maybe because of the nostalgia people have for it, gripping on and still being a child when the only thing that mattered was knowing special moves and fatalities in a Mortal Kombat game. That is the power of nostalgia. We grip onto those parts of our lives and memories surrounding it and not remembering how fucking annoying and mad the game makes you when you play it. So happy birthday to Mortal Kombat 2. Happy 30th.